Jared Cooney Horvath, neuroscience researcher.
Neuroscientist, educator, sit right that sweet spot between the two.
He likes to make sense of the brain for teachers.
Try my best.
So we've got a couple of questions for you, Jared.
Hit me.
Encountering errors promotes student learning. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so the way the brain works is it's largely a prediction machine. It doesn't want to engage because it's too tiring.
Right.
So what it does is it learns things and then builds a prediction. And then it just lives in that prediction.
Yeah.
And so long as the world is close enough, cool, you just live there. What an error is, that's a sure sign that my prediction has failed. The whole purpose of my brain is to build a prediction, didn't work. So now the whole system opens back up. And the frontal lobe kicks in and everyone says, let's learn, let's change, let's make something new. So errors are the easiest way to change predictions to learn. Problem is when they happen and the body kicks in, most people don't like that feeling. So they tend to shut it right back down and go back to normal.
Okay.
So errors, without a doubt, are the best way, fastest way, easiest way to learn something, but they're the hardest way because you have a choice to say, yep, I made an error, the n-gram's open, let's go, what do I gotta do? Update, or, no, that's too uncomfortable, shut it down. Let's go back to our old prediction.
Yeah.
I wish there wasn't that choice, that if you made an error, the whole system said update automatically, but it doesn't.
Kind of like that, the zone of proximal development kind of thing.
Bingo.
The sweet spot.
Everything will kick on, but then what do I choose to do with it at that point?
Yeah, right. Okay. Multitasking doesn't really work. Why should we be focusing on just one task at a time?
We should, because technically we can only. So go back to this idea of the predictor. So I can do two tasks so long as one of those tasks is pure autopilot. So I can brush my teeth while talking to my wife. I can drive while listening to the song because driving is just on autopilot. If I want to focus on a task, I can only do one at a time. And the reason is, in order to do a task, you have what's called your rule set slot. So if I want to write a letter, there are certain things that I need to focus on to write that letter, and that's an attentional filter. So I have to upload that rule set. That determines what I see, what I don't see, what I do, what I don't do. We only have one rule set slot in our brain.
Right.
So by definition, we can only focus on consciously do one task at a time. Trying to do two, what happens is you have to jump back and forth quickly.
Right.
And every time you jump, so writing a letter, talking, first I have to change out the rule set, which takes time. So I lose about 0.2 seconds of everything. The brain just shuts down while it resets. And two, I start to get confused between the two. So when I'm multitasking, I'm going slower and I'm performing less accurately, simply because of all that jumping, things just start to get really muddled. So it's not so much that I say we should focus, it's technically we can only focus on one at a time. All we gotta do is learn to accept that and then build accordingly. There's this funny stat that if you focus studying for 25 minutes on, so turn everything off, study for 25 minutes, piss around for 5, come back and study for 25 minutes, you'll learn more than if you study for 5 hours while multitasking.
Wow.
And it's 50 minutes versus 5 hours, largely because here I'm playing the game, the rules that I know exist, here I'm trying to circumvent the rules, and it's just not working.
Right. So thinking about teachers in the classroom, what are some simple tips that you could give them to help their kids just do the one task at a time?
Here's where, as teachers, you get to kind of step up and say, where is this happening in my room? Where am I leading it? So sometimes we give them, say, a worksheet while we try and talk over it and say,
right.
oh, and don't forget your homework and do this. So where am I driving it? And where can I expect them to drive it? So if I know they're going to go home and watch TV while studying, is that going to work?
Yeah, their brains are sort of flicking around all over the place.
Bingo. So there's where we get to say, okay, as a teacher, here's my job. Where can I fix my circumstances to make sure I'm not driving it? And then how can I teach them to be very aware of this so they don't drive it themselves when I can't teach them anymore? Yeah. So it's kind of that dual approach. There's only so much I can do, but I can teach you, and hopefully you can take it on board and make better choices in your life.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Horvath, thanks for coming on our little show.
Thank you.
And we'll hear more from you in the future, hopefully.
Thank you. Absolutely. Anytime.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.